All right, everybody ready? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy vexyz, the lurking legend. Y'all can just call me Vex. I am so excited. Thank you all for being here. Make sure to like the stream. We got a really gas session planned for you guys tonight. A little bit of a recap upcoming, and I'll go ahead and make sure to mention all of the wonderful links in the description. Just added a new fresh link where SSJ8 Cody is a goat, by the way. He's going to be uploading his VODs from his Twitch onto his YouTube, actually. So make sure you check out the description. I'm trying to constantly keep it updated so you can see all of the TLA D&D hype. If you want to be a part of your own TLA D&D One Piece kind of adventure, join the Discord, link in the description. You can also join the vexyz Lurking Legends Discord if you want to talk some TTRPGs, some TCGs, and some just general vibes. That's enough for me. Let's go ahead and introduce once again our wonderful players. Let's go ahead and start off with we got the frontline combatant of the last arc. We got NoChill Dill, who's a little busy driving, but I hope he can say what's up real quick.
Yo, I'm surprisingly not silent today, as many of you have come to know my character to be. It was also absent in this most recent combat. Maybe there's something to that. I guess we'll find out. As always, how's everyone in the chat doing tonight?
Vibes, yeah.
Good to see some responses popping up. I see you in there. I see hype to you too.
He's not. I don't know. I was like, I hope you're not looking at the chat right now. I hope you're looking at the road.
No.
But
No, I'm focusing on the road. I'm not even looking at my phone.
Nice. Next up, we've got piloting Bang D Boom, the guy who's classically running people's pockets. We've got Partypete. We've got Percules in the house. How you doing tonight, bro?
We're doing good. Yeah, don't forget the awarded best shipwright. You know, we can't forget to add these accolades.
How could I? I'm so sorry.
Considering I'm bounty-less, I have to rest on the laurels I have, you know.
Hey, y'all been stirring up some chaos. Yeah, who knows, you know, but yeah. And by the way, Dill, Lucas says he's doing great, and the Will of Dreams, absolute goat, says he's doing good as well. Since I know you should not be looking at the chat right now, I wanted to let you know, Dill. Next up, we've got our W Helmsman, Davos, who is piloted by the GOAT himself, Torimori, aka Mikey D. How you doing tonight, brother?
What's good, gang? Doing great. I hope everybody else is doing great on this Tuesday as well. Thank you, chat, for joining us. I think we got... You know, I don't want to wear the phrase out, but it never loses its meaning. I think we have a really hype session ahead of us, and I'm excited to see what is next.
Hype indeed. And then last but certainly not least, we have the future queen of the pirates herself. We have the captain of the Scarlet Pirates, Scarlet, who is piloted by Balincc.
What's up, everybody? What's up, chat? I'm just super hyped with what we got going on. You know, after the combat, that long ass combat we had, it's time for the resolution, for the random pockets. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely hype. And then tonight we are not yet joined by Ragnar, or we have him down in the tourbillon doing a whole separate thing, so hopefully he pops in at one point and we'll be able to focus on what he is going through as Lord Azrael. But all of his socials link in the description as well. Make sure to support all of the wonderful people here, and make sure to like the stream. Thank you all for being here as well in the chat. And a bit of a brief recap. We did have, as the captain had said, a long ass combat. And that combat, I think it was like 5 hours for the first session, and then like another like 2.5 hours or something, or like 2 hours for like Balincc kind of soloing as Scarlet. Well, you had Rocky B, you know, helping you out and stuff like that. But these two agents of the world government had gotten the jump and ambushed the entire port here in Jerry's bar. And after just absolutely just walloping, just an absolute like monstrosity of an encounter, the Scarlet Pirates have emerged victorious as those two government agents, after causing significant bloodshed and collateral damage, have fled to live to fight another day. And most of said collateral damage was miraculously repaired by Jerry, the strange carpenter man who they have met long ago, like in real life time, but it's actually only been like a couple weeks, like in game time. And Jerry had said that there is probably a storm coming based off of the looks of things, and that the people leaving on foot would not get far and would need to take some time to rest and lick their wounds. So he offered the pirates here to come in for a drink. And that is exactly where we will pick up. So as that happens, Captain, what say you?
I'm gonna start checking the crew, making sure everybody good. What? The whole what the hell? The bar? Am I bugging?
Yeah. Pete, we're having a little bit of a hard time hearing you.
Jerry used his years of carpentry to reestablish this building. Now is graciously offering us drinks to pay for the people from his past.
He must be the greatest carpenter to ever live. This whole entire establishment was in the ground, rubble, dirt.
He just kind of starts laughing and like itches his head with his hammer, like his classic like trusty sledgehammer, and he's just like, "You're a special one, aren't you?" And he's like, "Come on in, I'll pour drinks." Davos, yes, we can hear you. Davos, you got anything to say immediately before we get to inside again?
As Jerry turns his back to like head inside, that's when Davos pipes up. Where do you hail from?
Most people ask me that. I say parts unknown, but I couldn't lie to a fellow, Livneal citizen. And he smiles and gives you like a like an anime wink. Like there's like a little glint like underneath his eye when he does it. And then Bang D Boom, do you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, a couple things. One, Russ, we definitely gonna have to have some sort of conversation because it sounded like some crazy stuff went on. No disrespect, but it sounded like you and Scarlet held them off pretty solid. So I want to at least know how that happened. And Jerry, yeah, carpentry, my hat. We're gonna have to talk about this too.
He's like, yeah, I get it. I'll answer all your questions, but it's about to get really cold, here in the desert overnight. So, well, let's just pack up and take shelter. He's like, what's up?
Rocky B. We can't give him nothing. We gotta give him a treat or something. He worked hard too.
Jerry,
relaxing and drinking without him being relaxed too. Gotta give him some meat.
Jerry empties out his pockets. He's just like, well, I mean, we haven't gotten any more supplies in since you guys, went out on your little trip. So and he's like kind of shrugging. He has no idea what he's like, y'all. I mean, feel free, like if you have anything, but I don't know what I can do.
Man, Rocky B, you could
above table. Can rhinoceroses eat ration packs?
I mean, sure, probably they can eat a lot of things. I'm pretty sure they're omnivorous.
I just didn't know if it would be like bad for him because I got a ration pack.
No, ration packs ain't gonna slow down Rocky D.
Alright,
Dalt will kind of like limp on over and like pet Rocky B like on the snout air, is what it's called for a rhino, like the whole mouth nose situation, and she's gonna be like, no guys, you don't know anything, like rhinos that, you know, they need like fresh, you know, like drier grass, and you know, like they kind of like gestate their in their belly. He's probably got a full belly already, but it couldn't hurt to give him a little bit of something to chew on. And she's like looking around and she sees like the hay bales over on the like side of the map or something like that, and she's like, that should be fine.
Yo, shout out to Rocky B, man.
Yes,
Let me make
that's
sure.
cool.
Yeah,
well,
make sure he gets
I
one of
think
those buckets of water over there. Make sure he gets one of those too. Stay hydrated out here.
Yeah, and now we may drink and be relaxed.
yeah, I think we could heed Jerry's warning and head inside before the storm comes in.
Yeah.
No storm.
Dalt kind of figures out a bit of a situation for the large rustwing falcon that you guys have that would probably not do too well in the storm, in a sandstorm without like much shelter. And Dalt figures that it would probably be best finding like some place to, you know, like hang out cliffside, like nearby, while the storm passes, and then just come back in the morning. So it just like dips.
Yo, Vex.
What's good?
How many bedrolls would I need to put together to like stitch together a Rocky D size blanket? Since it's gonna get cold.
That's crazy. You don't really have like the tools proficiency for it, so I'm gonna let this be a roll. Roll me.
I have leather workers tools, and I got something that can change my tool proficiencies when I want them. Where is it?
I get you. Okay, then this will be a better roll. Then roll me 1d6.
Okay.
We'll see how skilled you are, and based off of this, we'll take it from there. I'm gonna say whatever you roll, we're gonna add 2 to it. Okay, so it's gonna take 7 bed rolls. You should have, I think, that many.
I do have 7 bed rolls.
Yeah. So you make like a wonderful like pallet for Rocky B, and it's very quick work that you get this done as well, because you're a very handy individual. Bang D boom. So good job. And then let's see. So Rocky B is well accommodated for. He's well fed. Yes, exactly, Lucas. We love you, Rocky B. And we are going to go inside. And as you go inside, I haven't really like touched up the map at all. It's going to be kind of the same situation, except that basically imagine most of the non-central structure, like the walls and rafters and things like that. So most of the tables and stools and such are going to be completely shattered. Most of them. As a roof just completely collapsed on this entire, you know, area here. You see peeling themselves off of the ground is Softy Boy and Harry, kind of dusting off a little bit of like the rubble and whatnot that had stuck on them, and spitting out teeth and covered in like bruises and blood and whatnot. And they're just like, hey. And then up towards the top of the map, you see Big Azrael flexing, and he's just like, yeah, I kept you safe too, you know, don't worry about it, Samia. Whereas Holly is laid out completely prone and flat on the ground, like almost like a pancake. Everybody else seems to have cleared out of the bar before the collapse. And you guys all kind of climb in through the window one by one. And yeah, Jerry's just looking around. He's just like, oh, shit.
One manner of business I think should be handled promptly. What is the status of Sonya Azar current?
Unalive.
Hopefully deceased.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would appear so. If anybody wants to confirm that, I would need some
Yes, I
medicine
Yes.
or
I would like-
an
Well,
attack
I would
roll. Either medicine
I was about
check
to say,
or an
I would
attack
like-
roll.
I would say I would like to
Hey.
check with an attack roll, please. I
You
can't
know-
use my token for some reason, but
The most impactful thing I can do with my action right now, Pete, I'm gonna help you with whatever you decide.
You said you
Alright.
can't move
Oh.
your token. Let me fix that really quick. Sorry.
Yo, I'm gonna try a medicine jet.
Oh,
Yo.
okay.
yo, Captain, if you don't mind,
Hey,
I don't think you
not-
need to try
not
that
to
medicine
state-
check because I'm about to pop both of them right in the dome.
Oh
Hey,
shit.
it's not a medicine check to stabilize, though.
And no, I'm
That's
just saying you don't got to worry about whether or not they're alive because we're about to find out right now.
Okay, so you can move your token now. Okay, so you are wanting to straight up
Yeah, with my
confer double
blunderbuss,
tap. You're trying to double tap
Yeah.
is what you're trying to do here.
right? With my
He's wanting to do
blunderbuss.
it from
Oh, wait,
15
wait,
feet
are they-
away, and I am
they
encouraging him.
Are they prone?
They
Yeah.
are prone, and what I will say is that as you go for this, Softy Boy and Samia are both going to urge you to not. And Softy Boy's like, wait. Our brother in arms would probably think that these two would be really great test subjects.
Hey,
We can handle them.
We tried that already, and look at what happened to all these civilians. And to be honest, we don't even know if we're gonna see your brother in arms again. So, as much as you may be right, unless the captain has any adamant objections, I'm thinking a swift execution is in order.
So Softy Boy seeing Bang D Boom with like a blunderbuss up to Sonia's cranium looks to Captain Scarlet, and it is a decision left up to you.
I'm gonna walk over there with such tension. I'm like, Softy, he can't have these two. Not these two.
Understood. And I won't even make you make an attack roll, Pete. This just happens. We won't spend too much time on it. You see the also unresponsive body of Kama, unfortunately, who did not. He was already injured and did not really survive the collapse. And Softy Boy kind of takes his vitals and everything like that and says, like, it's unfortunately it's too late for him.
Oh yeah, she definitely got a good look.
And yeah, Softy
Yeah,
Boy
what-
does a bit of a moment of silence for Kama and for Sonia and for Zara. And we won't spend too much more time on that, but yes, you can rest assured they are problems that are dealt with.
Yeah.
Jerry is just like, hey, don't make it too hard for me to clean up after, all right? And he just kind of like seems a little bit like he's just kicking like some of the debris, and like just like he looks a little bit like salty, you might say, and he's like, this shit's gonna take forever. He makes his way up towards the top, back over to the bar area, and starts repairing things up there so that he can pour drinks.
I'm gonna follow so I can start asking questions. Yeah.
We're gonna pour one out for Karma,
Yeah, as you do. So he's gonna post up by the bar area. Let me get the.
Is Azrael Big Azrael cool?
Yeah, he was. So if you remember, Jerry was holding up like a panel from the ceiling that collapsed down, and Jerry was basically like doing the Odin thing, but instead of y'all being on top of the platform, y'all were underneath it. Well, you weren't there, Scarlet. You were outside, but yeah, Jerry like helped keep the building from collapsing on the people who were immediately by him. Azra helped. So Azra's chill. He's took a beating, but him and Samia are standing and they're doing fine. I see Davos is standing over top of Holly, who is kind of incapacitated, it seems, and it looks like her leg, one of her legs is twisted in an unfortunate way that it doesn't seem like is humanly possible.
I'll take out one of my remaining 3 bedrolls and roll it out for Holly.
I'm gonna come over here and tell Samia and Azrael. They got calm. He's gone. Step to the side.
They're gonna be up here actually. Sorry, for like so the stream can see them. I'll just move them up a little bit. But yeah, there you go.
That. Yeah, I'm gonna tell him Softy boy is over there with Harry looking over his body as we speak. And I'm gonna just keep it walking.
Yeah, Russ walks up shortly behind, like after you, like behind you, and Dalt is also like approaching, and Russ kind of dips his head and is just like, Enid didn't make it either. When we were outside, we were already too late. And Samia and Azra both kind of like bow their heads, and you see there's like a bit of a moment of silence there for them as well, for their fallen family. Dill, I'm gonna drag your token. I'm gonna drag your token up. I'm assuming you're gonna want to be where the drinks are flowing, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna glance at Scarlet, like, and giving her a who's Enid look.
Ain't no way.
So, in character, I'll kind of pull Dang to the side, and I'll start giving him a rundown of who the fallen nomads are in terms of who they were.
He was the dude with the traps, but Enid, I just can't recall.
Oh,
above the table.
That's dirty work, brother. That is dirty work.
My bad, Enid. R.I.P. for real.
But yeah, Jerry pours out the perfect amount of drinks for all of the crew and nomads that are here remaining, and he just kind of like looks over and is like wondering how many he should pour like exactly, and he notices Holly on the ground over there, and he's just like and he sets down like the one empty mug and walks over to her, and he's like, excuse me. And he, Davos, is there anything you're trying to do, like, before Jerry walks up?
Yeah, I'll just situate Holly on the bedroll that Bang just rolled out, and I want to shoot a glance over. Man, is he cowering under the table, I guess? This fella over here on the left.
Oh, yeah, you with your perception, your passive. You and Scarlet might be two of the only individuals who actually notice him, but yes, he is underneath the table still. The table actually seems to still be intact, as well as a few of the stools around it. He's untouched.
What passive do you need to see this dude?
15.
Oh, I can see him.
Oh, okay, bet. So you absolutely can see.
I want to shout at him, some job you did, buddy.
He's got his fingers in his ears and his eyes like very tightly closed. Like he doesn't even know shit's. Well, he literally doesn't even know shit's over and done with. He's just like he. You could also see like a little puddle underneath him.
To combat that, I shout that with thaumaturgy right at him as loud as I could, like I did at the mouth of the cave. I'm really annoyed with him.
So he just kind of like goes like, huh! And like while you're doing that, Jerry looks at Holly and her clearly broken leg, and he's just like, well, he cracks his neck and cracks his knuckles, and he's just like, you might want to step back. And he goes and puts a hand on her like knee, and snaps his other finger, and you can kind of see it just like crack back into place, like almost like miraculously, like and as you do that, like a bit of his like beard hair falls out and some of the remaining hair turns gray, and he's just like wipes some sweat off of his forehead, and he's just like, oh God, I'm getting too old for this.
Davos sees that part and he raises an eyebrow and just goes, "Geez, dude, are you okay?"
He's just like, yeah, you can be surprised. This isn't the worst that I've ever seen. You should really be asking her that. And she's just like, oh, my freaking leg. And she like immediately like comes back to consciousness. And she's just like, oh shit, dude, I just got these. Like, and she like stretches it out and she's just like, oh, I guess that's not that bad.
Davos looks at the finger that was previously broken, not that long ago at all, and he raises it up to Holly, and he's like, "Good to see you back on your feet. Sorry."
As you do that, you notice that the finger that he fixed and her leg as well, the only parts of both of your bodies that aren't completely covered in scratches and blood. Like good as new, maybe even better, you'd think.
My finger hasn't felt this good since I was a kid.
Holly's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, and she's like confused. But yeah, so Jerry is just like, well, I imagine you all have a lot of questions, and yeah, I can't tell you anything I don't know, but I mean, ask away, I guess. As he like pushes like mugs forward to Bang D Boom, to Dill, to Captain Scarlet, and the rest of the individuals at the bar. And Dalt declines, as does Russ. But there's cups for all of you, including Davos and Holly, if you all are wanting to. So Holly will walk up as well to the bar, and she's just like, hey, yeah, this thing's doing pretty good. And she kind of like does a little jig. And, you know, shakes a tail feather on her way over. There's a little bit more of a pep in her step because that leg feels amazing. Homeboy over here is just still pissing himself underneath the table. We'll not worry about him right now. But he's there.
I'm going to glance back at him. That's a damn shame.
But Jerry kills like he just gulps down like an entire flagon or tankard or stein or whatever you want to call it, like instantly.
Yeah, I got a question for Jerry. How do you know that dude that was eating the sandwiches?
His name is D'Amico the Omnivore. That's what they used to call him. Looks like he might cut back on his diet a little bit though. And he laughs. He's like, he's from back in my training days, an old rival of mine. In a way, I guess it's kind of good to see that he's still alive and kicking, but not really. You ever heard of a place called Guanho? Out on the Grand Line?
Particularly
guano, isn't that what they make makeup out of?
No, that's different. And he's like well, you see, when you do really, really good and you catch the eye of some world government higher ups, they send you to a different place, not just any old military base. Something really different from the Navy. It's a cipher pole training facility. Cipher poles carry out jobs that you wouldn't expect the world government to take on, or they wouldn't want to get out into public, and some of them are a lot more secretive than others. Looks like he got a promotion, and because there's only one cipher pole that really has an open license to kill, like they seem to be trying to flex, and that's Cipher Pole 9. And I highly doubt any of you have ever heard of Cipher Pole 9, but you can roll me a history if any of you might have heard of some of the more public cipher poles.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh shit. I will say Bless is not a thing right now.
Oh, he crit.
Yeah. Bang D Boom might have absolutely heard of Cypherpole 0 and Cypherpole 2, as Cypherpole 0 is very public and people do know about Cypherpole 0 for the most part. People do not really know about Cypherpole 9, but some of the lower level Cypherpoles people do know about. Davos, you might have also heard about Cypherpole 2, as they have been mentioned a couple times through the murmurings and the word of mouth of the North Blue. Dill, you have no fucking clue. Neither do you, Captain Scarlet.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Cypherpole, Schmypherpole. I don't give a fuck about all these names. I'm already on my port.
Hey, Captain, I've never heard of a Cypherpole 9 or anything, but I do know those guys are generally pretty serious. But if they're all the way out here, then there's no way they were just looking for us, right?
Hell no. Who the hell would be looking for me?
I don't
Well-
know. Did you piss off the world government in some instance I don't know about?
I put my hands up. I ain't doing anything.
Jerry finishes another drink and slams it down. That's his second one now in like less than 5 minutes, and he's just like he lets out like a big old belch, and he starts like kind of like waving his hand in front of his face like, sorry. That might have been my bad, actually. Might have been y'all. Might even be her. And he points at Holly, and he's just like, but seemed like they didn't want any witnesses. So, but D'Amico did target me specifically right out the gate. So, pretty sure some of that's my fault. Sorry you got caught up in that, but they don't take too kindly to pirates either. So, it's pretty likely that, you know, they had other reasons to try to take y'all on as well. Who's really to know? He might be able to find out if we can catch up to him, but he starts picking his nose and he's like, it's no use going out there right now. As you can kind of hear wind like slapping sand against the windows, like starting to pick up a little bit throughout the conversation.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I agree, but I mean, you say it may have seemed like they attacked us because of you. No, it definitely seemed like they were attacking us because you were here.
You know, I don't think it's necessarily all his fault. I think that sandwich guy just seemed to. I don't know if you guys got some personal beef or something, but he was focused on you. But the mustache guy, he was all over the place. So who knows?
Yeah, I
I'll
couldn't
have a
get a good read on the little one, but D'Amico, he's got plenty of years of experience under his belt and a couple layers of fat. You know what I'm saying? But he's I don't know why they would really get Cypherpole involved in all of this. Honestly, something about it doesn't quite add up. What'd you say, little miss? Sorry.
Were you Cypherpole? Like,
Once upon a time. There have been a lot of things though.
she's probably gonna cross her legs in the chair and like put her hands under her chin. Tell the story, please. Seems like we have time. You see the storm. We'll love to hear.
Well, D'Amico and I were both pupils of a mutual of all of ours, Captain Shivers, many years ago, and yeah, one thing led to another. We didn't.
Shivers?
Yeah, he knew me. I knew him. It was a long time ago, but he was the one who ended up training me and D'Amico, as he kind of mentioned whenever we were exchanging, blows earlier. It was it's an interesting time in my life, but we both qualified for Cypherpole training, and I didn't really like too much of the line of work that I ended up in, but apparently D'Amico didn't feel the same. So I unfortunately was at a point where I knew too much for resignation to be an option. So sometimes all you can do is retreat. And he shrugs a little bit, pours himself another drink.
Oh, what'd you know?
Damn, man. I'm
I
gonna
slide my cup
Dill.
towards him.
Hey, you know what would make you feel a lot better about this, Jerry? Is after the storm subsides, we go run those dudes' pockets.
I like that idea.
I'm
about
good
it,
with
Jerry.
that. That
Free
sounds a
loot.
lot like something
It's
that we
a-
can do pretty well.
It's a therapeutic feeling to be honest. It's like, you know, there's nothing better. We'll get back, we'll pocket running.
Well, you seem to have your priorities straight. And then he like points his finger at Bang D Boom. He like moves his finger a little bit to the left and points at Dill. And he's just like, I'm not sure you want to know what I know that made them so upset. But
Ooh, tell me.
he
I
just
mean,
kind of like,
I'm always fond of secrets.
yeah, there's a bunch more people like those two who devote their whole lives to making sure that nobody has that knowledge and to exterminate anybody who holds it or seeks it out. And he just kind of like raises an eyebrow and like looks at all of you like, but I heard you saying that you'd be the future queen of the pirates. Is that right? And he looks at Scarlet.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, in that case, you might need to know.
Ooh,
I already made the mistake of not believing in you twice. I won't let it happen again. And he tips his hat, pours you another drink if you've already had yours. But he kind of like leans forward and he's like, I can't tell you too many of the specifics, but long ago, a civilization waged war against the world government and fought to preserve the way that the world used to be. They apparently developed a way of passing that message, presumably the truth of our past and our history, down through the ages. And here we are hundreds of years later on the verge of finally deciphering its meaning, despite the world government's best efforts to keep us all in the dark.
Wait, so who's we?
Yeah, who's we? Wait, you got messages from
Well,
centuries ago?
not me specifically. You see, after faking my death a while back, I sailed under a few flags, had a couple different names, but met a bunch of few interesting folks. One of those groups reached out to me because of my history here, asking about legends surrounding this place, like the tourbillon, the skeleton key, the liar, and the curses. And some people say like the gate to the underworld or the stairway to heaven or the fountain of youth are hidden here somewhere, maybe under sand or underwater. Apparently there used to be armadas and expeditions that would scour these lands before the government swooped in and took it over, and they thought I might know a thing or two. There's some friends of friends.
Isn't that what you were talking about, Holly? Armadas and such?
Wait, what happened to these people though? They lost?
And
I have a question too,
Holly
dude.
chimes in and she's just like, well, to the best of my knowledge, most of them fell into the tourbillon. But that's what I was telling y'all. There's countless ships, fleets worth of treasure down there from several different kingdoms and different corners of the earth. And Jerry is just like, you really believe all that, kid? And she's like, who are you calling kid? And she like crosses her arms and looks a little bit frustrated at him. Dill, what were you saying?
Is it the information that you know that puts you at risk, or is it the information that they think that you know?
He like taps his finger to his temple, and he's just like, yeah, you know, even if they don't, you don't have to know anything, but if they think that you know it, it's all the reason they need. But maybe they know something we don't.
Well, I guess in this situation, we know something they don't. We know that Jerry's alive. Yay!
Yeah.
Well, I think to keep things peaceful here, we should probably make sure those dudes don't get back to tell them, right?
I don't know if they're the only ones. I don't know if they're the only ones giving out information, because they seem to know things that I'm not sure they should have. And he's like, from here on out, I mean, it's up to you if you want to trust in me. That I'll leave that decision up to you. But I wouldn't really, you know, believe in anybody you see these days. If they got Cypherpole involved, that is. I mean, obviously, pirate crews have to look out for other pirate crews. You've got to look out for bounty hunters and marine, you know, officers and things like that. But now even any old civilian could be some world government operative in disguise, right?
Does that mean that Cypherpole was working with bounty hunters to take out pirates?
Probably not. They don't really work well with others, but maybe when they, I mean, it could have been a payoff, but who knows really? Like I mean, like the glass house was a bit of a stain on the Liv Neal's reputation lately, so they might have been sent here to deal with them as well. Who knows? I mean, it's been wild times recently, to say the least. I picked a really great time to, you know, to get back to Liv Neal.
So what I'm hearing is it's best not to mess with the Cypherpole organization.
I mean, I feel like the damage is kind of already done. As far as most of these individuals, they think they're already dead, but as for those two over there, and he points to Dalt and Russ, and then he points back at you, Scarlet, and he's like, and for you, last they know of, that y'all are well and alive.
Well, I gotta be well and alive. I'm gonna be queen of the pirates. Can't do
Yeah,
that when I'm
but
dead.
yeah, but they saw,
if they want to come for us again, they can bring it on.
yeah, but they saw a building collapse on all of the rest of us. They'd have no way of really confirming if we're dead or alive, which is kind of sloppy work if you ask me. Tomiko might have felt a little bit heavy-hearted for the whole situation, or he's just lazy, but
We should remain as dead as we can for as long as we can. That is a really strong advantage, but I just don't feel right waiting out this storm.
It might,
yeah.
might just be the only option, Davos.
Yeah, I faked my death once.
Them in this storm, then we could get more lost trying to find them.
Yeah, also, there's no comfortable building for them to wait this storm out in, so I imagine they'll only be worse for wear, even if we wait till after the storm.
Yeah, these agents are trained from a very young age to be able to survive in extreme climates and environments and whatnot, but they seem to be traveling pretty light. I didn't see any bedrolls on them, so it wouldn't really be likely that they'd be getting any good sound rest through this storm. Shelter's probably the first thing on their mind right now, especially if you really did the number on Tomiko that you said you did, and he like notions to Scarlet and Russ and Dalt.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I seen them limping. I don't know. They looked a little shocked. It was just a couple pirates. If they as big as you make them up to seem, I think I sent them on his last leg, if I do say so myself.
pretty impressive. I mean, D'Amico and I, we cleared out bars kind of like this one back in the day of easily like 3 times as many individuals, much more experienced pirates than I would say that most of you are. No offense, but either he's really lost some of his shine, or y'all are something else. Again, he like tips his hat and takes a sip of his drink.
Yeah, I prefer to think the latter. So
I also prefer to think the latter as I notion towards my still empty cup.
He'll pour you another one, but he's already got the whole first round like out to the crowd here.
You only buying a round.
mm-hmm.
This is the second one he's having you, but yeah, quit being stingy, bro. He's
right. penny pinching.
No. It was at the last canon interaction between Dill and Jerry. It was me asking him to repair the bar after he had just repaired the window and came through it, and then I called to mention the fact that I paid him to be able to repair the bar, but he's able to do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, he's already poured all of you like multiple drinks at this point, brother. Like,
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask Jerry. Like, you wouldn't even have a workspace inside this building, would you? We got some ideas that need exercising.
he picks his nose again really quickly and like flicks a booger off to the side below the counter, and he's just like, I mean, I could whip something up, but not really. What did you have in mind?
Oh, nothing. Just Russ is looking a little light on arrows, and I brought back a lot of this interesting glass from our recent excursion, and I've got some ideas for how I can make a couple things. Plus, I promised our good man Davos here a pretty interesting shield. But I did want to. I guess I really haven't gotten a chance to see them in action too much before this, but for Harry, I'm gonna give him 2 of the glass knuckles.
Oh hell yeah!
That seems like it might fit in with his improvised weapon type thing. So he's always got them on his hands, since they're separate objects.
He's just like looking at him, and he's like, well, I mean, I'll try them out, but I feel like they might break, but yeah,
Hey,
we'll see how they do.
Me, they should do all right for you. And then I don't know, what does Softy Boy fight with?
His bare ass hands and like needles.
Let's see.
He's also used chains before as weapons, but it's been a while. Like that was in like the Davy Bag fight.
Okay. Well, I'll give him a set of glass chains, and yeah, I'll give him a set of glass chains for now. Or actually, no, I'll hold on to him. I got an idea. I'm gonna make something for Softy Boy.
And he just kind of like notions to you. He's like, really, you don't gotta worry about too much. I get by off of very little. And he kind of just like punches his hands together, and you can hear his knuckles kind of crack, and like there's like a bit of a like percussive like clap to it. Like it sounds like those punches would have fucking hurt. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
He's got like a bit of a grin.
I'm gonna just like tap him on the shoulder. It's like, look, man, we're trying to level up in the world. Everyone needs to upgrade equipment every now and then. Just trust me.
And he's just like, well, I mean, if you really want to help out, I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything like that. I appreciate the offer for the chains, but if you could like turn it into some kind of armor, that would probably be the best. And he like,
sure I can figure something out.
He notions to his chest, where he got shot when y'all were running on the docks before the Shivers fight. Or you weren't there for that, Bang D Boom specifically. But he notions to a bullet wound that's in his chest right here, like and you can see like a hole in his shirt, and he's like, "Unfortunately, I'm not quite bulletproof yet,
Hey, well, let me see what I can figure out for you.
Russ walks up to you while you're like kind of offering out weapons and stuff like that, and he's just like, "Hey, I know you mentioned arrows, but and he like pulls his last arrow out of his quiver, and he gives it like a little bit of a kiss, and he's just like, I gotta be honest, this might be like kind of the only one I need. This is kind of a lucky arrow, and I don't know how I really did it, but check this out." He just kind of like chucks it at the wall, like above the piano over on the far side of the bar, like way over here, with his bare hands, and it just like swing, like sticks into the wall like a really large dart. And then he like kind of like snaps his fingers almost in like a Jerry fashion, and you see it just kind of just like peel itself out of the wall and like just like fly back to him, and he catches it in his hand, and he's just like and he's just like you ever seen an arrow do that? That's so cool, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna like look at him and be like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think that's the arrow. Like, that's cool and all, but I don't think that's the arrow that's doing it. I'm pretty sure that's you.
What do you mean?
Do my eyes deceive me?
Okay, so let me ask you remember, last time we were kind of hanging out and I asked you if you ever, like, when you were younger, like ate something weird or like, had some fruit you didn't necessarily like all that much?
Oh, all fruit tastes terrible. Like, absolutely. They're like, yeah, I guess we're lucky to live in this climate. You don't really grow a lot of fruit here in the arid, heat.
Right. And when
You must
did
get
you
pretty mealy pears, Davos pipes up.
Well, I don't know. You never heard of devil fruits?
Devil fruits.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
We talked about them last time.
Yeah, you guys were mentioning it, but like, I mean, that was the first I ever heard of them. Like, some of the nomads that haven't even really heard of fruits, but devil fruits, no. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm not a historian or anything like that, but basically, there's some funky fruit out there that's been known to give people interesting, appearances, abilities, things like that, and that. If I had to bet my money, that'd be my guess for why you can do that. But that's all the more reasons you should have some more arrows. Because if you get better at it, what if you can do it with more than one arrow at a time, right?
huh. I mean,
But for now,
I don't know.
now I'll work on. Let me worry about that part of it. But I have noticed that in the fights, yeah, you kind of freeze up when people get close to you. So let me at least give you this glass rapier. It's a pretty low profile, so it won't be too much extra equipment for you. And that'll give you some close combat capability.
And he's just like, okay, I'll start training with it. I've never really used close range too much, except for like, skinning our prey, but
Hey, maybe you and Dill can exchange notes. I'm sure you can show him some stuff about shooting a bow, and he seems to know quite a bit about swords. So
yeah. Hey, so you're saying if you were going to be making the arrows anyways, do you think there's a way you could try to like maybe make a two-sided arrow? So when I do that trick, it could like maybe be doubly as effective or something? Like, I don't know how you would do it without it cutting my drawstring, but
hey, you let me worry about that. That's a great idea. It sounds fantastic. And my good friend Azrael, you still got that big sword, right?
And he's just like, oh, yeah, out of respect, I didn't really bring it into the bar, though, But
that's fair enough.
I got it outside somewhere.
We should probably work on detaching that from the stone.
Trust me, it ain't coming out, brother. I've tried with all my might.
Hey, you haven't let Bang D Boom give it a shot yet. So
Wait,
Yeah. Okay.
wait. We could let Jerry hit it with his hammer.
Jerry's just like, I don't know. I don't know if you know how my abilities work, but y'all were talking about devil
Speaking of
fruits.
hammers,
I might as well let you know about mine, I guess. I can't fix things that aren't broken, and I can't repair anything that I didn't see when it was in its intact state. Does that make sense? The things also get a little bit weird with organic material, like Davos's finger, or this old lady's leg, or even this wood. And he taps on the bar. He's like, that's why I typically stick to stone.
well, let me give it a crack. If I need your help, Jerry, then I'm sure you can at least help me think of something.
Something you guys should maybe know about as far as devil fruits go, seeing as some of you seem a little clueless, is all of them have their limitations and some interesting things about them. And like mine specifically, if I do too much with it, has a bit of a toll. And he like gestures to his face and how he's got a little bit more gray, like a little bit more salt in his salt and pepper mix, and he's like, I could really only do so much every day. And well, again, like organic material is a little bit complicated for me, and so I built most of this place out of stone. It's interesting, I can't just look at like a fresh pile of bricks and turn it into a house, but if I see the house get destroyed, I can mostly repair it. Some of the things that I repair, if I repair them enough times, they're better than before, even stronger, some might say. Another downside is that some things take a little bit more effort and concentration, and like I said, they really take it out of me. But I feel like I've got the hang of it. There's always things that, and if you're going and fighting a lot of devil fruit users, there's always things that can't be done. There's always exploits, blind spots, and but you never really know what they are. But every devil fruit seems to have its limitations.
Well, that makes sense. Nothing be perfect in this world,
Yeah, just something to think about if you're gonna be making your way through this world.
I look at Jerry, I say, yours has limitations? Mine just makes everything so peaceful. I can focus my blade on responding to my will. I feel free.
Well, now you're just bragging.
Yeah, he just kind of like looks at you and he's just like, I didn't even know you had a fruit, honestly, kid, but whatever you say.
Since we got all the important talk out, we see the hammer. I want to play with the hammer.
He's just like, hey, yo, what? Like, hold up, like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Well, this old thing, and he just kind of like pulls it out of his little like belt loop holster that he's got, and he's just like, I don't know why people keep taking such a fascination with this. Here you go, and he like holds it out, and give me an athletics.
Oh yes, I'm ready to fill all these holes. Well, yes.
Yeah, as he lets go of it, and you feel like it's firmly in your grip, and you feel confident and things like that. It plummets to the ground and cracks through the bar top, and even like leaves a dent in the cobbles below. And he's just like, well, when you know it. And he's just like, I'm getting deja vu. I feel like that happened already with you folks. And then he like kind of scratches his nose a little bit, grabs the hammer and picks it up. Are you still holding on to it, Scarlet?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just yeets you like a couple feet up off the ground when he picks it up, and he's like, oh, sorry.
Shit.
And he like puts you back down, and then he snaps and like fixes the crater, and then like fixes the bar top, but the bar top kind of fixes a little bit slower.
Captain,
Jerry,
he just
one day,
told
Jerry.
you organic material takes more out of him.
One day, Jerry, you gotta let me get that hammer off your hands. I will be worthy. I step
Well-
back. I start throwing out some push-ups.
He's looking at Davos and like some of the other folks who have been a little bit more quiet, and he's just like, about you. You got any questions? You seem like you might have some things on your mind.
These people of interest, might there be any others on Leave Neil?
Well, there's no way of knowing for sure, but I'm sure you saw in the papers, the death of Shivers is being felt in every single one of the seas across the planet, but nowhere as bad as here in Live Neil is it really making waves. It's going to be a bit of a power vacuum, and this is like the last thing I would have expected as far as some of that outcome, but Shivers has trained a lot of individuals in his years. Dozens, maybe even hundreds, but seemed like D'Amico was a little bit salty, didn't it? As far as the Marines, they're gonna have to bring in some new talent to fill his position, so maybe.
Since you're the inside man, what else does this talent entail? Even speaking hypothetically. Compared to Shivers, what else do we stand to face up against?
Well, I mean, most of his recruits ended up, like I said, getting recommended for Cypher Pole training or promoted to officer almost right out of the gate. And he was somebody who was very adept at the 6 powers. He even, taught me a few of them, and he was a master of the ways, but not many of his pupils were able to really grasp that full concept, but those who did ended up doing really well in Cypher Pole. I've seen quite a few of them. He's somebody who has impacted a lot of individuals. He had a bit of a way of seeing a potential that other, naval officers really couldn't see. Or maybe he was the one who was unlocking it in them. I don't know. They say in the pirating world, that's one of the most valuable and potent weapons you can wield, but I think he saw it more as a double-edged sword. He kind of starts reminiscing a bit, meandering on from the question that you were asking and kind of just going off on his memory lane for a second. He's he's someone who believed that whatever truth was lost to the past was kept from us for a good reason. Wasn't necessarily a bad man. He encouraged his many pupils to decide for themselves what they would believe, myself included. And all of that praise and respect and all of those expectations from the many that were underneath him, he never wanted any of that. He just used to say that stress would, make his hair start to fall out, and he really just wanted a quiet place to live an easy life. His powers were pretty unique as well, as I'm sure some of you know. He had a devil fruit known as the cottage fruit. It let him have near complete control of his home and everything within it. It got a lot stronger the longer he stayed in that home, but most people didn't really know that about him or his fruit. They just assumed that he was all powerful anywhere he went, anytime.
Well, that definitely sounds like a personnel placement error.
So yeah, as far as I remember, like these folks fought him on a ship. If he sailed right here from Portmanteau, couldn't have been on that vessel for more than maybe 3 days. But if y'all had fought him in his castle that he's been training people at for over 50 years, y'all would have been lucky to last more than 5 seconds against him. Scarlet's just like straight training. That's hilarious.
It really seems like we've gone one of the main webs on a big spider web. And Davos just rushes over to Scarlet's side and starts doing push-ups alongside her, and it's like, we have to get stronger.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you called me the man on the inside, but I'm not really sure I have any more friends on the south side here. But I've definitely got some people that would like me to think that I can still trust them. And he like lets out a big sigh.
Hey, like who? You just let me know, Jerry. I'll knock them off.
Yeah, I think you'll have a bit more trouble once you stand on their territory. Battles are a little bit more unpredictable and easier for the underdogs here on these shifting sands, but their turf is a whole nother story.
Hey, I'm never shied away from a challenge, but you might have a point. But my main focus right now, I guess, is taking some time. Oh, I want to get that bear trap and that shield from Davos. So I can start working on it.
Oh yeah, you start working on that. Nice. But he just kind of like yawns and stretches a little bit, and he's just like, the main thing I wanted you to take away from all of this is a lot of the people working for the government, they're not so different from you or me. You know, I should know. I used to be one of them, but we're all guilty of our own easy justice from time to time. Whatever logic or lack thereof we can hold on to streamline the way that we behave and believe. These people just believe that they can decide for others and have the means to enact that. But maybe, like I said, maybe they know something we don't. But just because somebody might do a bad thing doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person. That's not up to us or for them to decide, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it depends on the bad thing, I guess. But I feel you, Jerry.
I mean, it would be like compare and say you went and killed the ruler of some land versus you didn't fill up somebody's cup whenever it was empty. There's different levels to it.
Hey, I get it. Some may say objectively, running people's pockets is wrong, but if you only do it to people that attack you first, I don't necessarily see what the problem is, personally.
If they're no longer going to be using their money, then I don't see a point of leaving it on their bodies.
You see what I'm saying? It's really just altruistic. It's making sure the money's not flowing in the economy.
Well, you folks sure are interesting, to say the least. I'll make sure I remember the name of Scarlet Pirates. You all wouldn't be interested in any of these wild goose chases that, that I was mentioning before, would you?
Wild goose chases? Oh, yeah, that skeleton key thing you were talking about?
His eyebrow raises a little bit.
I asked him about the time when it was known as the Skeleton Coast, because I saw that map on the ship.
Oh, that must have been a couple 100 years ago at the very least. See, this big rock here used to be two, and one slid into the other and up underneath it seems, and and that's how we got mountains there. And he like notions like in the south direction, and he's like, but this arid land here on the north half used to be apparently someone's a completely different island, and the south half is what's known as Livneal. Always has been, as far as I know. It's not a lot of information on it. I think that's just the way the world works, man. Like, I'm not a geologist or anything like that, or really even a historian, although I know a few, but sometimes islands just move.
Hey man, I don't know. I saw a building come back together today, so I figured I'd ask.
I don't know if it was by anyone's design or if it's just an act of nature and time, but it's apparently some great treasure that people have been seeking after, you know, and most people forgot about it lately because of the whole One Piece thing that Roger left us with, but wherever it is, nobody even knows if anyone's ever found it or not. They might even be one and the same. Wouldn't that suck if you ended up finding just an empty treasure chest after such a long voyage? But
hey, you know, it's not the treasure, it's the friends you make along the way, you know?
He just kind of sighs and he's just like, yeah, I guess to those of you lucky enough to still have them. And he pours a little bit of his drink out.
Well, that's why you make new friends. So that way you can survive with them when your old friends go.
Well, I'll drink to that. And he like cheers his whoever's like right up in front of, like, you, and Holly's just kind of like sitting here tapping her toes, and she's just like
Do you want some water?
She's like, I'm fine, thanks. What's with your tone? And she's just kind of like got her arms crossed and is being like a real Karen right now.
Well, I'm gonna just shoot a look at Dill.
I didn't know if you drank alcohol, but I did want to apologize for the way we took you out of
You kidnapped me? The way you kidnapped me? That's what you want to apologize for?
The way we tactically in story Dill's drunk at this point, but tactically
that's hilarious.
Acquired you.
She's like, yeah, first the lying and then the kidnapping by force, right? And you know, and now making me wait here for a minute after a building fell on me. And she's just like,
almost fell on me.
Building fell on all of us.
Almost, you know.
She's like, no, almost. A building actually fell on me, okay? I didn't have big muscles over here to like hold it up. And Big Azrael's just like kind of like, sorry. And he like pushes his index fingers together. Like he's like, my bad. Like,
hey, that's all in the past now, though. You know, live and let live.
well, if y'all happen to know anything about any of that, then you probably want to keep your lips pretty tight on that. But it's kind of the reason I'm here after all these years. Is like I said, I had some friends of friends that called on a favor, and not one to really turn them down after all that they've done for me. So some people think there might be some key to deciphering these centuries old messages. A bunch of smarter people than me, you know, are trying to figure out. And maybe not the full key or just like one piece of the puzzle, but I think it might be here somewhere.
Hey, what do you mean by that, Jerry?
And he just kind of like looks over both of his shoulders, and he's just like pulls out a little piece of paper with some like stains on it and stuff like that. It's like crinkled, and it's like you know, like when you like used to like really like mess up a piece of paper and it would feel really soft, like animal hide or some shit like that. He just like kind of like unfolds that with both of his hands on the bar top, and he's just like just know if you ever see anything that looks kind of like this, don't tell anyone who works for the government. This is for your own safety. If you want to. It's actually going to be a piece of paper that has ancient script on it.
I'm gonna start catching my breath, throwing them push-ups, man. That shit. I feel like I could lift up this bar, man. I feel like I could do anything, man.
Dalt kind of leans forward, and she's just like, and she's just like, wait a second, Scarlet, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
What do you mean? Man? Wait a second.
I could pick up you, dog. I could pick up anything, man.
She's like, this is the same writing that we saw at that temple. And Jerry's eyes kind of like perk up, and he's just like, hold on, what?
That is it, man. Ooh.
Hey, isn't that where we got the sword?
Energy to read this, man. She's right.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bang.
That's where we got that sword with the
Jerry, what do you know about this sword?
Jerry's like, sword.
Yeah, it's outside right now.
Big Azrael he just starts. Oh my god! Stop with the catchphrase. Ain't no way, bro. Azrael just like runs down to like outside, and he is going to go and grab the sword. He'll be back in a second. Scarlet, give me let's go ahead and call it like let me see. Give me a history. Okay, hold on. I'll give you an option here. It can either be a perception, a history, a religion, or an arcana. Because arcana is typically like creativity in One Piece D&D, but it's just like whichever one of those you have the highest modifier for, feel free to roll it. I'll give you advantage because Dalt is helping you.
Let's go.
Holy shit. Yo, that's amazing.
I told y'all, man, I can feel it. I can feel the power in my veins.
You see this ancient script, Scarlet, and it's almost as if a voice inside of your mind. It feels like it's above like where your normal voice is coming from. Like it's not your mouth, but it's almost like a mouth like in your forehead, but in the back of your mind as well at the same time, is just kind of like reverberating, and some of this stuff just like starts to like come together and make sense to you. And you notice that it is actually lyrics to a familiar tune that you have heard many times.
Y'all know this. Nah, there's no way y'all don't know this. Y'all know this.
And Dalt is kind of like, Dalt is like squinting at it, and she's looking at it like upside down and sideways and stuff like that. And she just says, yo, I can't really read all of it, but I remember this from the rocks that we saw before. And she seems to be having like a more difficult time than you are.
Captain, what does it say?
Come on, sing the song. Wait, y'all don't know the song? Bing Sake?
I've heard of it.
Yo, come on, everybody sing it. Come on.
I didn't know that it can be written in those symbols.
Yeah, I didn't think this song was that old.
I'm gonna get on the table. I'm ashamed as your captain, as a pirate, you don't know this song.
I didn't know it was that old, man.
Oh my
Captain,
goodness.
we know it. We're just confused on why it's in this weird language we haven't seen before.
Right.
Shit, now that you Now that you mention it, I don't even know how the fuck I know this.
Well, it was on the temple, but
Dalt's like, no, this isn't quite what was on the temple, right? Like we saw Sun and Blade and Peak and like a few other. I remember Time and I or something like, and Dalt is like having a difficulty kind of remembering it all, but like she's like trying to piece things. She's like, we only could make out like a few words, but not really any of this looks too familiar to me. And she's like trying to figure it out.
Make out a few words. Don't. I can see this whole entire sheet.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yo, you read this. Everybody, come, gather around, please.
I'll be popping bottles. I'm sorry, dude.
Captain, try reading it. Squiggly line, snake, omega symbol.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, you're yo ho ho.
I mean, I can try to read it too. You know, do I get any benefit of being a D clan member trying to read this language?
No, you can. I'm gonna be completely real. You could try to roll for it, like any of them things I said before: history, perception. Like, but I do not think it's possible, even on a crit, that you're able to read what this says. So it'd be like history, arcana, perception, or religion.
Well, even if I can't even read it if I crit, then I don't know.
Yeah, it's this is like incomprehensible to most, if not all of you. Like and Dalt is a little bit confused, and she's like, it made like an uneasy feeling before as well. Whenever I had never seen this before, we went to that temple and saw the rock. No shot, Dill. Sorry, but she's like, so I don't understand how it seems familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. Like, and like before, I understood a little bit more of it than you did, Scarlet, but now I don't know. And she kind of crosses her arms and like looks like really confused. Russ is gonna like come over here and like try to like, I guess, like comfort her and then like figure out what the hell is like on this piece of paper as well. And he looks at it and he just like he's just like, oh look, well, I think that's
Ross,
it. I think
there's your snake. That's
said,
the squiggly line. It's your snake.
No, I don't think that's what that means. I think that means crew.
See, Russ gets it. Yeah, it's Bink's crew.
You read it too?
Well, I don't know what most of this means, but like something about that just kind of like, I don't know. It's like it speaks to me. Y'all aren't getting any of that?
I'm gonna ask Jerry. Yo, Jerry, what's up with this? Can you read it?
He's like, fuck no. You're telling me that this little thing I've been carrying all this time just has a lyrics to Bink Sake on it? How the fuck would they give me that?
Yeah, bro. You could have been jamming.
He's just scratching his head and looks like really confused, and he's just like, all right, well, okay. I mean,
Ross, what do you mean you can hear it?
he's like, I don't know. It's just like, it's almost like you never hear like a voice in your mind? Like,
but you hear it too?
I mean, I think everyone has a voice in their mind, right? Like, or is
only the voice that tells me to I'm alive.
Oh,
when you read the papers, somebody sung me the song in my head. I think that's how I know. So I thought if y'all read it, they would sing you the song too.
I don't know what song you're talking about. Russ says this. He's like, I don't know. He's like, what is sake? And he just like doesn't really. It does not compute.
Wait, Russ, you don't know what sake is?
He's like, is that drink you guys gave me? Like whenever we were like
the greatest thing ever. Here, have some.
You guys did do Sakazuki cups with some of the nomads, right? So he's had sake before, but he just doesn't really remember like and know its significance or anything like that.
No, that's why I offer him some more, so that way he can remember.
And he's just like kind of sniffs it a little bit. He's like, sure. And he takes like a shot back and whatnot. And Dalt's just like, this is strange. Yeah, like it's not like the same voice that I normally hear in my head. You know, you get like when you count to 10 in your head right now, you hear like your own voice, right? Or like it's like that, but different, I guess. And she kind of sits down.
You kind of getting it.
My internal monologue is quiet.
Oh god, that's unnerving to me as a actual as vexyz, like as a real person. I'm sorry that.
That sounds disturbing.
Yo, I want to pick up the paper and like flip it, turn it around, and see if I see anything else besides the lyrics.
All Bangy Boom can hear in his head.
Sparkles and champagne. Like no, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on the right track, guys.
You can give me an investigation, Scarlet. I'm gonna let you know right now the DC is gonna be like pretty high, like a 23.
I am going to help.
You try rolling again if you want. Nah, you just. There's just like the familiar lyrics to a tune that you have been, you've known probably all, like that's actually like Jerry's gonna just be like so I mean, so you guys are pirates. I'm assuming you guys know the tune. I guess some of the nomads, that would excuse them, but like, yeah, this tune goes way back. Like was but you seem to know it pretty fondly. And he looks at Scarlet. He's like, where'd you come to know the tune?
Oh, I'm from Mary George.
He drops his cup.
I look at Captain. Mouth agape.
Yeah, he's NL facing right now, and he's just like, I'm sorry. What?
I picture a record scratching in the background.
Hold on, I got that on the soundboard, I think.
From Mary George, where the Celestial Dragons live, Red Line.
Whoa, what do you mean you're from there?
I'm sorry. Yeah, like, he's just like, ain't nobody from there. Little lady, what are you?
I raised my hand. I am.
You so you're like a world noble?
Oh, whoa, no, nothing of the sort. No noble in me.
Captain, this is that I thought you had in that.
Balincc, does Scarlet have the mark of the dragon hoof? And it
so like it would. It's like how would I say this? Like rib cage, kind of. But
okay.
Up more like towards the sternum.
Gotcha. So it's not anywhere like noticeable, like for any passerby or anything like that. But yeah, Jerry is completely. That's what it's called. Okay, it's not called a claw. It's called like a hoof, I believe. I don't know. Fact check me on that. Don't at me. But yeah, like
hey, I believe you.
Jerry has so many questions right now, but I'm assuming some of the crew might as well.
Yeah, I definitely got questions. It's like, are you gonna elaborate? You're just casually saying you're from. You're a celestial dragon. Is that what you're saying?
Wait, hold on. We trying. Y'all trying to say I never told y'all this? I'm pretty sure I told everybody.
Oh no, I didn't sign up to. What are you? Explain.
Yeah. So there was that there was Mary Joyce. Everybody knows Mary Joyce. It's big, it's fabulous, and also has slaves. And then amongst them was a little red-headed fellow, and then poof, here I am.
Poof, here you are.
Right. What do you mean poof? You don't just poof and now you're not in Marie Jean. What are you talking about?
over shit, dude. You wasn't here, but we had a Davy bag fight, and that's how Softy Boy got here. Harry, I raised my hand. Dill
Harry's
was here.
Harry's like,
we are so far from the
Yeah, it's pretty
Holy
sick.
Land. There's a lot
Above.
between the Davy back fight and you leaving Marie. Like, what?
Above table, Dill was not there for the Davy back fight.
it's true, he
Dill
wasn't.
was.
I was also not there from the Davy back fight. Even on table, I don't think that explains how exactly you got here from the Holy Land.
So Mia is just like raising her hand and she's like, hey, sorry, what's a Davy bag fight? That's just word soup, right? Like that's not like a real thing, is it?
Oh,
I promise that's like the least important thing right now. Is a Davy back
It's the
fight.
coolest
She-
athletic event when you get to flex.
I slapped
She's
my
just-
chest. I'm a captain.
She's just like,
You got
okay,
another
okay. We don't gotta focus on that, but and then Big Azra comes
Yeah.
stomping back in, and he's just like, hey, I got it right here. And he's like, it's really windy out there, guys. Like, and he like had to like struggle to pull the door closed again, and he's just like, but I checked on Rocky B while I was out there too. He's chilling. And Big Azra just like clunks down this massive like sand dial of stone that this sword has been plunged into that seems to still be completely intact. And he's just like let me give it a good old, once more, before I hand it off to you guys. I hate to be like the guy who loosens up the pickled cactus jar and like somebody else ends up being the one who actually opens it, and he literally lays down prone and like has this sword in between his legs. He puts his feet on the like sand dial, and pulls up with both of his hands on the handle of the sword, pushing down on the sandstone with his feet and everything. And he's like, and like, I'm gonna roll an athletics for Big Azra here, and I'm going to be completely real right now. Outside of a nat 20, this is impossible for him.
Nat 20, nat 20, nat 20. Crit happens.
Let me confirm if he does not have advantage.
A casual crit right now. You got this, bro.
We'll see.
No.
And he is pulling so hard, but he's sweating, and his thunder grip is like so like on there, but the sweat starts to get in between his knuckles of his fingers, and his grip like loosens, and you see the stone that his feet are pushing fly this way with the sword, unfortunately. And his hands, which the handle slips out of, and the all of it goes like to the top of the map. His hands just chin check him at full force. He's gonna take an unarmed strikes amount of damage to his own jaw. And he's just like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, that thing's in there. I didn't mean to roll to hit. He absolutely hits himself. I meant to roll damage.
Okay, I'm gonna inspect
Shit.
the sword and the stone. Yeah, 10 accidental damage. Wild.
Yeah, that is wild. And he just kind of like sprawls out and like lays down flat on the floor for a bit, and he's like, that hurt. You give me if there's any tools that you're trying to specifically use, you can give me a tools check, or you could just give me an investigation.
I think I'm just gonna, I guess, tinkerer's tools, because I'm proficient in those.
Okay. Hold on, sorry. I was looking at something else. So that is a soft 20. Feels good. You notice that this looks identical as the day it was plucked out of the temple and the temple collapsed, which was, I think, over a week ago at this point, right? Like while y'all were going up through the red spine. It doesn't seem like a single speck of dust is out of place from its previous condition, because I'm sure you also gave it a good look at then. Harry and Softy Boy are kind of like looking at it like, what the hell? And like they don't know what's going on. This is their first time seeing it. Holly is just like she's just like, it's just a hunk of junk. Like there's no way a sword that's like that old can be really worth anything. And then she kind of like she steps over and just to like kind of like showboat a little bit about like it being worthless. With your 20, you're going to notice that once again, this thing has no rust on it. It has no scratches on the blade whatsoever. It seems to be shining even in this bar, this at the dark of night with very minimal light sources and things like this, has like a unique like sheen to it. And you don't really feel confident that any of your hammering away or tinkering or this or that, or even any of Big Azra's toiling with his big muscles would be able to really accomplish what needs to be done here. You're thinking you might have to go with the tried and true method, you know, for bang D boom.
Blow the rock up?
Yeah, that's definitely your best line of thinking there. While Holly kind of like bends over and like kneels down and looks at it, and she's just like, wait a second. And she pulls out like a little jeweler's loop. And she starts inspecting it and shit like that. She's just like, this thing's pristine. That can't be possible. Where'd you find this?
Exactly. In the desert, like in the mountains somewhere. But yeah, I think I might have a way to at least try to get this thing out. I'm gonna call on my handy dandy Bang D blast.
Okay, and you're gonna try to. So you just assemble, or your cannon was already assembled, so you whistle, and he just hops on up, like for wherever the hell he's been chilling.
Yeah, he's been riding around on my shoulder. I just didn't feel like moving his token around.
I got you. Yeah, so are you just gonna try to like zap this thing right here in the middle of the bar?
I'll ask Azrael to maybe drag it over to a less crowded area, like, you know.
He like gets up and does a bit of a jumping jack and limbers up, and he's just like cracks his neck again after like socking himself in the chin, and he's like, yeah, sure thing. Are you on it somewhere where there's like no real worry of collateral damage? How's about over here?
Yeah. Put it right over here.
He slams it on this table right here.
That's exactly where I want him to put it. And I'm gonna line Bang D blast up on the bar. Get him aimed up good.
And this guy down under is like freaking out. He's just like, oh jeez, and he's like he crawls out from underneath, and he's just like, I gotta go, what the fuck? And like he starts to like a little cockroach just like scurry himself away on his hands and knees, and there's just like little wet spots as he starts to like move from underneath there. Go ahead and roll your attack. I'll give you advantage.
Hey, is this
So Mac come out with you. Bang D blast, let's do it. Force ballista.
Tragic. Yeah, it's
tragic.
You see like a big explosion, and there's like a dust cloud as the table collapses from underneath it, and as the dust like parts and like settles and whatnot, and the smoke kind of clears of the whole situation, you see the shine kind of like penetrate through, and the sword remains stuck in the stone and completely unscratched, unscathed, unblemished, untarnished, and pristine as ever.
Oh.
It does get
kind of confused.
Yeah, it does get pushed like 5 feet closer to the wall, notably, like with the whole sandstone situation and whatnot, but it's not like gonna blast through the wall or anything like that. It just shatters the table. And then like homeboy is like squirming away like down here, and Big Azra's just like, hey now, where do you think you're going? And he picks him up by like the back of his collar, like picking up a cat from like their scruff of the neck, and he's like just gonna he's gonna carry him back over this way. Oh shit, I'm on the wrong screen. But he's gonna carry him back over this way. He's like, hey, yeah, hold on, we got a medical dude over here. He's got to make sure you're all good, right? You seem to have a leakage. And he carries him over here. This guy's crying. And dripping like piss and sweat. Softy boy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think I have a chisel. I was gonna ask Jerry if he wants to try maybe hammering into that stone.
I was about to say, if not a chisel, I got pythons.
I think it's pitons.
I think maybe a little bit more precise pressure might be the trick. So I think, you don't got to use your devil fruit or nothing, Jerry, but that hammer could be a real asset. Hammer and chisel on stone. I think it kind of makes sense.
He's kind of like picking like sand out of his eyes, like the little sleepy bits out of the corners of his eyes, and he's just like, yeah, I can give it a shot, but I ain't never seen anything like that. I'm gonna be completely real. This might be one of them.
Right.
This might be one of them Mato blades. But
right. I'm not worried about the blade. Looking at the condition, I think if we just get the stone off, the blade will be in great condition.
You heard what that old hag was talking about before with like curses and all that, right? Like, I'm not really somebody who fully believes in anything like that, but there have been that's something I have also been asked to kind of take a look into. And there's an old storybook from a library on the south side that says there's like a legend of it's called The Sword in the Stone. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. But I don't know.
Something about a destined person pulling the sword out. Some sort of mumbo jumbo. I'm a man of science. Enough force applied, and that sword's coming out.
Hey yo, we got Lord Azrael like in the chat. What's good? But yeah, it's seeming like he feels a bit like helpless to it, but he shrugs, hops over the bar, and like eats himself like right over here by you, grabs the chisel from your hand, and he's just like, hey, it's not a bad chisel. You got some good equipment here, kid. He's twirling it like you see like people with butterfly knives or like doing like the weird little gun tricks and stuff like that in between his knuckles and whatnot. And he starts getting over here and going to town on it. And he's just like, yeah, give me a minute. I'll see what damage I can do. And Big Azra is going to have like set this guy down. And Softy Boy walks over here and he's just like, hey, you're Phil, right? You're that guy who made friends with our brother in arms. And like, well, what's wrong with you? And Holly sees like the condition he's in after Phil tried to like body block and defend Holly like all righteously and heroically, and she's just like my hero, and she just goes over and like sits back by the bar unimpressed. And Softy Boy looks at him. He's like, yeah, you don't have a scratch on you, dude. Like, you made of like metal, or you some kind of like ridiculously lucky person? And Phil's just like, what the fuck happened here? And he's so confused. He's like, I saw this whole place coming down, and it's like, am I dreaming? And he is just like extremely confused. And Big Azra gives him a big old clap on the back and deals 1 point of incidental damage to him. And he's just like, nah, you're gonna have to keep up, kid. Like we've already been covered that. And like Phil just looks ridiculously confused. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out what Jerry is rolling for this. Give me a second. If there's anything you guys want to ask Phil, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm gonna just tell Phil. We've been done fighting for a minute. You got to get it together, man. It's embarrassing. And also, you gonna clean that up down there? We saw that puddle, bro.
He's just fucking
Saul,
embarrassed.
We hear it.
And smell.
Hey yo, no.
Yeah.
My God. I can hear it sloshing around in his boots.
Crazy for real.
Yikes! What did you say, Balincc? What's up?
I said, well, Jerry's done with the rock and the sword. I'm gonna have Scarlet call over for him.
Yeah, so he is going to get at it probably with all of his strength, and he's got quite a bit of that. And it's kind of a very similar situation to old boy Big Azra. And so I'm gonna go ahead and roll an athletics.
Can I help Jerry?
I think he gets advantage, you know.
It's not gonna help either way. So he is like he's swinging away with his big old trusty sledge, and he spent some time on it. You can hear him, you could hear the impact, you could see sparks flying, but like you can't necessarily see the sword or where it's into this. I mean, it's like, he's kind of eclipsing y'all from seeing that. All you can see is like his back as he like kind of goes to work on this, and then he turns around and walks away from it. And as he steps away, you see that he leaves the sword still in the stone there, still shining, still pristine and everything like that. And he walks back this way, and he's got like sweat like dripping down his like face and everything. He hands you like a crooked, bent and split like chisel, and he's just like yeah, sorry about that, I'll fix it right up. And he snaps his fingers, and it's back to brand new.
Yeah, just as tears roll down my face, as like, the chisel from my time in my family's business is destroyed.
And he's just like,
it's all good, man.
Yeah, he snaps, and it's just like he just literally snaps his finger, and it's like, yeah, good as new. And your chisel's back to normal. Yeah.
I'm crying even more. Thank you,
bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to inspect like the sun, like the dial part of it now, to see if I notice any like in like text or something like that might suggest something, because the force of science is not proven effective.
You just gotta see like numerical values, 12 of them like radially aligned, like you would on a clock, like per se. But other than that, so there's there's like patterns, like almost like Mesoamerican, like kind of like not swirling, but like kind of like angled patterns of like kind of square like serpentine like windings around like the lip of it and things like that. Nothing like that screams like a symbol to you outside of the numerical values, which you can kind of just through common sense figure out which ones mean what. Like obviously there's 1 through 12.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if this really is a sword and a stone thing or whatever, have we let the Queen of the Pirates try to just pick them the sword out? Future Queen of the Pirates, have we tried that?
Give it a shot, Cap. If that doesn't work, we can treat it like a piñata afterward.
Right. And then Bang D Boom is just thinking about strapping dynamite to these rocks, and
it's like when Nami has berry symbols for eyes, but instead it's like TNT. It literally like oh my God.
I love that.
So Scarlet, your crew is offering you first dibs at the sword and the stone situation. What do? Act be coded for real.
I'm gonna tell Jerry, hold on right there, because we need to talk about something. And then I'm gonna like scurry over, like in the little tiny baby steps, but super duper fast. I'm gonna run over to this sword. Oh my God, it's finally time. If I can't have the hammer, I will have this sword.
Oh my bad.
Can I see
I
if I
didn't even
can
fix the stream.
tell what the hell is written on it?
Yeah, it's just 1 through 12.
Oh, it's just numbers.
Yeah, it's in a radial pattern, much like a clock, like an old school clock. But these are not like, to you, they just like scream 1 through 12. But to like Bang D Boom and to NoChill and to Davos and everybody else, it's like symbols that, you know, they might not have seen ever, but it's still, with common sense, they're able to tell that it's like 1 through 12. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna tell both of them. Y'all, these are just numbers. Would y'all
Yeah. Well, apparently this might be some sort of destiny according to some stuff Jared was saying. So I just kind of figured who was, you know, if there was someone destined to have this super dope sword, you know, future Queen of the Pirates might do it, right?
I like your thinking.
Yeah.
If it was anybody, it should be me. And I'm gonna grip the sword by the hilt, breathe out.
Oh yeah, no trick required. It comes out like a knife and butter, super easy.
Huh? Yo, can I flavor this and say that I pulled it out so hard I get stuck in the ceiling?
Yeah, do whatever, but it's fucking easy. I want to be real with you.
Let's go. So Scarlet pulls it with all her might because she's seen all the effort that it took the biggest man in the crew to do. And then the sword flies out like butter. She gets stuck in the ceiling, dangling.
So yeah, you were literally just like hanging from the ceiling right now, at least 25 feet up into the air. You like gave it such a mighty pull. And with that, we will travel elsewhere. Brother Ragnar, how you doing?
I'm mentally exhausted.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you could make it. I had some interesting events planned for the Ragnar side of the Lord Azrael side of things as well, and we just spent a good 2 hours in the bar getting a ton of lore. So feel free to ask me any questions after a session, and or check the VOD. And we had a straight feast. We like lore piece is real, but we do need to make sure that we see where your progress is in inside the belly of the beast. So the last time we had saw you, you had successfully rolled extremely well on your survival checks and cleared 2 full levels of your exhaustion. I hope that will happen to you soon in real life as well. But so you have 1 remaining level of exhaustion, and you have seen that the tide has dissipated a bit. You've prepared yourself well, pretty well, I would say, for any eventual like re-floodings or like the long haul per se, more so than you ever were when you were just kind of like naked and afraid type shit, you know, like just all alone in the wilderness, this strange biome that makes little to no sense to you. You're starting to get like a good bearings and ropes on like of things, right? A little bit of the lay of the land, a little bit of your feet underneath you, and your survivability seems to be doing pretty well. You will now actually be able to make survival checks in here with advantage because you did well enough. So there's a little bit more of that. And then I'm sorry, I'm just reading in the chat. Y'all are killing me. But so you did notice that as soon as you got kind of like your whole self figured out and whatnot, the electricity started surging, and you remember that happens for a pattern of about 8 hours straight, and then there's also a big gap where that doesn't happen. So as soon as the I will also say, if you'd like, you can go ahead and roll one of your hit die, as you did not get a full long rest, but you did benefit from a short rest.
Oh, but Vex, you don't know this. When you said you can roll one of your hit die, you mean my only hit die?
I've looked at your sheet. I've looked at your sheet. I know. I knew that was that. So so you get 11 more HP, putting you at a total of 12. You are no longer single digits, my friend. You are at 1 level of exhaustion, which is the lowest penalty you've had. So things are starting to kind of look up for you. And as the electricity stops, and you now have a good knowledge on like how much time you might have to explore a little bit before the electricity would start again. You've equipped yourself with a little bit more of survivable tools for existing down here. You seem a bit recovered. You still don't have controller feeling or motor like capabilities within your 2 arms, but you do have 2 of your 4 arms are still not functional, but the rest of you starting to feel a little bit more alive, like before. Like the amount of like livelihood you had when you were being like launched through the air, like which was like the last time you like felt really, really, really alive. You're starting to like climb back to that now, and fight your way through everything. You get like a little bit of a short rest in you, and then like I said, the lightning stops, and you are pretty confident after studying the patterns and things like that and getting like a good bearings that you have some time to explore here without having to worry about the lightning surges. What will you do?
Okay, so ain't stopping now. Okay. So let me adjust my HP on this. See, I'm wondering if I go out and search some of the wreckages, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you've worked on a bit of a breather, and some eye coverage and things like that. You are not confident on how exposing your skin would be to some of the water and things like that, but you might even be able to dive into some of these pools.
All right, so I'm gonna actually go out to here.
Okay, so this is gonna be like water that you're like walking up towards, and it's a bit of a steep drop off. It goes pretty far down, further down than even your hands could reach. It starts with like water that barely covers your toes, and then there is a steep drop down of at least like 20-25 feet where the bones are here. So it goes pretty deep here.
What I wanted to find out, is there a water flow?
Water flow?
Yeah, is there a current in here?
It does not seem that there is a flow. There's no bubbling. This seems to be murky, brackish water that is just pooled on the floor of this gut biome here.
Right, so there's like a crate right next to me. I'd like to search it.
Okay, it seems to be full of mush. It seems to be like, I won't even make you roll for it or anything like that. There's pretty much nothing to find here outside of like pale, mushy, like you could roll me an insight if you want to see what it used to be, but right now it's like, it's just kind of gross. That's all it really is.
All right, so I'm gonna take this chance to dive down and search for clues of like a exit, entrance.
You got it. Give me a Constitution save. You're gonna have advantage, and the DC is going to be significantly lower because of the way that you've prepared yourself. That is perfectly fine, because 10 was the number to beat. And with a 12, you are doing fine. You end up getting yourself in the water. It almost feels good to be back in water after like all this time. Parts of your body become more hydrated than they have been in a couple days now. You know, it's also like, you know, you've been carrying around like the dead weight of your two arms above water, but now underwater there's a little bit of that alleviated as they start to like float above you as you descend into the bottom of this. You're just like investigating all around inside here.
I'm just investigating. I do have something I'm gonna look at, but for now I'm just investigating.
Okay, just as a cursory investigation, you're not gonna find too much other than the bones here, as well as like some like algae that seems to be glowing, giving off some sort of luminescence. And the water becomes a little bit like sulfuric as you get closer to the algae at certain parts of the bottom here. If you're looking for anything more specific, you don't see any exits, any like orifices or like tunnels or anything like that. It's just kind of like a murky, brackish pool. If there's anything more specifically you're looking for, you can go ahead and give me an investigation.
Let me see. This is a ship. Are there any cannons? It's an investigation.
Yes, it's an investigation. You did notice that there was a cannon that had like the back completely eaten out of it by rust. So it was just like a hollow, thin tube, like a fraction of the cannon that it used to be back in the day. And it even looked like a very old cannon, like no current cannon that you have seen in today's like pirating or military. Like you're still pretty new to the Blue Sea, so you haven't seen many cannons, but you've seen some. You've even been inside of one. But this is a very, very irreparable cannon. With your investigation, that is an 8. You don't notice anything except for you see that this whale skeleton here seems to be very big and there is nothing left on it, no scraps, no anything, and it's just bones and even like a little bit of algae on some of them and things like that, but it has been picked clean long ago. That's really all you could find with a 9. If there's anything specifically you're looking for other than that, you can let me know.
Well, for now I'm gonna head over to this bell.
Okay.
And take a proper look at it. Are there any engravings on it?
Yes, actually. You'll have to kind of like wipe away some of the rust and seaweed and algae and things that are covering it, but there's no check for it. It's kind of just like a thing that you do. You can kind of like clean your hands off in the water right behind you, but the bell seems to say SS Delphina.
Wax off, wax on, wax off, wax off.
But it seems to be a ship from the belfry of whatever ship it was called, or maybe whatever kingdom it was from, or maybe whatever captain or they sailed under, or whatever king they were in expedition for, or anything like that. Like for some reason it has the name Delphina engraved into it.
Delphine? What? I've heard that name somewhere. Whatever. Am I able to lift this bell?
You can give me an athletics. I'd say the DC is going to be a little bit higher than it normally would because you have exhaustion. I won't account for that, but you do only have 2 of your arms, so it's just going to be like a little bit. Ooh, that's actually, yeah, you got it. You can pick it up.
Just wanted to test it. I'll put it back down.
Yeah, it's got some heft to it. Definitely a big bell, about a little shorter than you are. Completely clean from rust, 0 rust unlike the cannon that you saw that was eaten away by rust almost entirely.
Yeah.
But
I
there's
remember that part. That's the interesting thing.
You give me an insight if you want, because you racked your brain on this before and couldn't really put it together. Let's see if you can now that you're less exhausted. Yes. Okay, so you remember seeing that the shipwreck was submerged on the bottom of that shelf that you were on, not in the middle of the tourbillon, but in like one of the outer rings of the tourbillon's gyres. You remember that shelf that you were on where this beast found you, and you were battling like the hagfish and lamprey in your like last stand type of deal situation. You remember that this ship was out in the open water, like at the bottom of that part of the seabed. Probably way lower seabeds, not anywhere near the actual ocean floor. That could have been way deeper as you got towards the center of the tourbillon. But the seabed for this part of the tourbillon, so this was in salt water, the shipwreck before it got eaten by this thing. This bell, however, has probably been in this belly for much longer. And you recall that the electrical charges that pass through here, when you run electricity through salt water, there's a process known as electrolysis, and that is something that can actually free metals of rust that they might have previously had on them. So the iron oxide bonds are broken off of metals like iron and steel and things like that, and by the running an electrical current through salt water, they're able to eat away that. So this bell is something separate from the rest of this shipwreck, as is the anchor that you saw previously that has no rust on it either. So some things here have been here longer than other things here.
Oh. I could make use of that information.
And yeah, so you see this anchor very similarly is not, there's no rust. There's a bit of seaweed, and maybe like some like grit and things like that, but it is it's actually still got some sheen to it, and it has a skull in the top crossbar there, and it seems to have a little bit of dentage on like the bottom here, like towards like the spiky part on the very bottom. There's actually like some nicks and like some dings, as if this thing has hit bottom many times long ago.
Can I list this?
This is gonna be a much higher DC, but yes, you can. I'm gonna tell you right now, 21 or higher is what you need to get, because this thing has some heft to it. No, you I don't know if you have advantage on this, so we're gonna go with the nat one.
I do have advantage. I'm a fish.
I mean, you're not underwater right now.
It doesn't count as it doesn't count as underwater.
No, I mean, so logistically, you are miles underwater, probably, right? But you are not currently submerged in water. Does that make sense? Because this is next to a puddle, but it's not in a puddle. So like over here is like some shallow water, and then it gets deeper over here. This is on a dry hunk of land. Well, not land, but like gut flesh. We love those two words,
okay.
You know. So like logistically, yes, you are very far underwater, but like in actuality, you technically right now are not submerged yourself in a body of water. You're like within a separate vessel. So it's like just because you're in a submarine, you wouldn't get that advantage from being a fishman. Does that make sense? Because you're not actually submerged yourself. Unless that submarine were like taking on water and it was over like a certain point in your body.
All right.
But yeah, you have a few options here. if you are feeling up to it, you can camp out here some more. Since there is this shipwreck here that, like, you're not sure if the tides are going to rise again. And or if there's other things further out that you will be able to climb onto to avoid the electrical charge, but you do know that you do have some time before the electrical charge returns. So you could camp out here. You could, I don't know, like try to tunnel like down or like out through some of the sides or something like that, or you could explore.
Well, for now, I was thinking I could look for my stuff that I lost on the way here. It's somewhere in here. Just
okay. So you're just gonna do like
where.
a broad sweep of things. You found a few things on the bottom of the shipwreck and a few things on the top of the shipwreck. You can give me just a general investigation to kind of sweep this area here. But it seems that a lot of the enemies, the lampreys and the hagfish and things like that, were pulled away with the tide. So you don't know if you really need to be on full alert here, but obviously in a place like this, it's hard to feel completely at ease, right? But you can give me just a general flat investigation. We'll call it a DC 13, and we'll see what you can find. You get a little bit more than that, you can find maybe something super special. That is correct. Let's go. I did say it was going to be flat, so we're going to go with the 16, but that's still above a 13. So with that, you are actually going to be able to find your shotgun, which is not actually your shotgun, but the shotgun that you did come in here with.
The body of another guy?
Yes. Yeah. So it is going to be the same exact shotgun. It's now back in your possession. Seems to have taken on some water. Might need a little bit of some gunsmithing. If you could ever get yourself out of here and things like that. What else specifically would you be looking for? Outside of like some weapons, you have your torture's tools. You have your you have the emerald dagger. Right, you did find your glass spear, and now you found your shotgun, and the berries as well. The party funds that you were holding on to. Is there anything else you were looking for, specifically?
Well, I was gonna look for my backpack.
There's a number of waterlogged backpacks. Some of them have had their contents completely spilled out. Was there anything in your backpack specifically you were looking for?
My ancient sake.
Oh man. You get the feeling that one of these backpacks that you are seeing that's kind of turned out and like unfastened and has spilled its contents might have been yours. And there is no bottle anywhere in sight that you can see, but you could explore a little bit off of this screen. What I will say is you do find one or two containers of the sploosh, and that is why you're pretty confident that one of these was your bag. You know what I mean? Oh no.
Sake!
Oh, rip to the goat, the ancient sake. So you have basically explored the majority of this whole situation here. If you wanted to do any like more specific investigation, like get pretty hands-on instead of just like a broad sweep, you can let me know, dragging a token to around that area. But as far as just like passive, like broad sweepingness and like without getting like on your hands and knees with like a magnifying glass type of thing, because you did actually break a telescope and get some of the lenses out of it. So, but like if there's anything more specific you were trying to check out on this map, you can move your character token there, or there's also several other things that you could try to do before the electrical surges return.
Well, I had some plans, but I kind of wanted to recover my supply before I did anything drastic. Is it possible to find stuff that was in my backpack?
You get the feeling that it's going to be pretty far out and scattered. You found about as much as you can without like maybe venturing around a bit, or maybe checking at the bottom of some of these pools. But like I said, just as a broad sweep, you have found everything that you can so far. If you wanted to get more specific, you can go ahead and move your token around.
So
As far
some
as
backpacks, what are you like? What direction were they at? Like over here, good.
yeah, it's just like waterlogged, like leather and fabrics and rusted buttons and things like that. You're sure some of these are too old to be your bag. Some of them aren't the same style of bag. Like there's like some fanny packs or like some tote bags and things like that. There's just like, but yeah, you're not able to really find anything majorly of use except for those two things of sploosh. But they were spread out a bit. You are positive that the contents of your bag have been strewn about, and if you would like, you can try to give me an insight as far as to which direction the water might have gone, because it had to go somewhere, right?
Let's just hope a lamprey didn't eat it.
I'll give you advantage on that, seeing as you've spent a good enough time in here. The 22 is fine. You feel pretty confident based off of the direction that you're facing and the way that this whole shipwreck situation was gobbled up, that you... How do I put this? Okay, so you're gonna be able to see my ruler when I do this, right? Because of the way that the shipwreck was eaten and probably came down this esophagus area into wherever you are now, you are assuming that you came in this way. Okay. And so that means that the water might have gone that way. If you were going to try, so that is like that's what you got off of a 22.
The water went that way, huh? Okay. Good. See, I'm gonna do something, Lex. I'm gonna take this bill. I'm gonna take this bell with me.
Oh my god, let's go. Ain't no way. Okay, is there anything else you're trying to gather up from this map before you do whatever you're about to do?
No, I'm not really sure. I don't really think so. There's a piano somewhere over there, but it looks wrecked, so
yeah, that might be a key item. But
key item.
that's a yikes. You know, that like as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, "Stop! What are you doing?"
Oh, no, good.
Okay, so. Oh my god. But yeah, so you're wanting to take the bell with you and do what? Go where?
I'm putting on this shit for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna dive back in and head over in the direction that I supposed will be more likely.
Yeah.
That
so again,
went.
This is not all water. Some of this is just like belly flesh.
But
some of it is puddles of water though. So like you can just be like walking and then other parts you have to swim and things like that. Like this is water. But like this is flesh. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you are going off in that direction. Give me just a second, and we will switch maps. And you might need to zoom out. Just a little.
Okay.
You might need to zoom out just a little bit. I know I will on the stream. Oh God. So this is the area that you are in right now, and you're wanting to leave going up this way, right?
I'm gotta reload, guys.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, let me shift ping you as well, so it'll pull you there. Why is this tab not working? Okay. This
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right here.
All right. So, am I supposed to be seeing a small box?
It is a very small box, yes. And I will say you'll get a little bit more than just this. I just wanted to show you the reference of what the size of the map that you were just on was. But because the electricity surged and you were conscious for it, you actually have a much bigger picture of like what you have seen in this surrounding area, which would be much more like this. Let's see. I'm actually gonna go to polygon reveal. Hold on. But you actually get a bit bigger of a picture, which I'll go ahead and reveal right now. There you go. Oh, that wasn't a good reveal. But you kind of see that this big wide chamber that is like, yeah, as you progress this one direction, it seems to like open up a little bit more if you're going to continue on in the same direction you were intending on going.
Oh my gosh. The world. It's a lot bigger than I thought.
Oh my goodness.
What kind of monster has a stomach the size of a town?
So you should be able to move your token if you'd like. It is gonna snap you because you're a little small tiny guy, so it's going to snap you to like the corner of a grid block or something like that. But yeah, so this is like the area, this is the ship. That's what this little part is right here. This is the two halves of the ship you were just on. And you were led to believe by your logic that this is the direction that the water would have flowed to, and this is probably the direction that you came from over here.
Wait. Are you saying I thought that my stuff would flow all the way over here? Like all the way over here?
Maybe even further.
Yeah. You know what? That stuff is gone, bro.
Yeah, is there anything else you're going to be trying to do right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back into my little circle, my little shell. I'm gonna go home.
This is home now.
I'm back.
Okay, and so you're gonna kind of camp out is what you're gonna do. You have some sploosh, which if you remember from the popular Disney movie Holes and the book that it was based off of, is like basically preserved peaches and onions. Yeah, so you are able to actually sustain yourself much more easily. This is going to lower the DC of your survival checks. But if you are going to be camping out and spending some more time here, if there's nothing else that you're going to be trying to do, then we will call for those collective, those 3 classic survival checks, please.
Wait, do I still roll these?
You do. You have advantage.
That's what I was saying. I'd
Yes.
rather roll these at advantage because
Yes.
man,
So you have advantage and you have less exhaustion now, and the DC has been lowered. But there's still a chance that you could roll 3 nat ones.
yo, listen to me, bro. Don't wish the worst on me.
So that's an 11. That is
Don't
a
tell a lie on me.
22.
I won't tell the truth about you.
Wow, that's crazy, actually. And that is an 18. So 22 and an 18. All those, yeah, so those alone are going to be good enough. So you are going to, you're camping out. You are going to actually feel like you have gotten so much more information about this place. And you've tested the fact that you can, in fact, enter these waters with your new equipment and things. Like you are actually feeling so much more secure, and the sploosh had provided you with such sustenance that you hadn't had in many, many, many days now. You are going to benefit from the full effects of a long rest, and you will no longer be exhausted.
Finally.
And you wake up to the tail end of yet another electrical surging, just a fancy light show that surges in what seems to be from a right to left fashion. The way that the electrical surges go is like they kind of snake down the corridor, starting from one end on the right side and going all the way to the left side and further down. And so you've noticed that the several hours long of like electrical surging seems to stop shortly after you slept, like a baby, I might add. Not even that could wake you up. And as that all happens, Lord Azrael, you hear a rumbling. Gravity seems to be up is now down and down is now up, and then back again, almost like you're tumbling or in a vacuum momentarily. And the ship that you're on seems to like shake and tumble, it's floating in the air for a second, and then it smacks back down on the fleshy ground, and you hear like a wet, loud plop, and then it's back up in the air again, as if the massive beast that you're in seems to be undulating to a sort, and you in its belly are feeling the effects of all of that centripetal force. And you hear a cacophonous sound. It almost sounds like a monsoon or typhoon type of current that rushes in from the right side of the map and completely engulfs you and your new home.
My home! I just got used to this place.
And that is actually where we're going to call it. As we have,
Oh my God.
I will actually go ahead and show you how far down you get carried. Let me just give me a second, and we will go ahead and get to our outros and our cover story. But
I'm gonna hold on to my bell. It's the only thing this place that reminds me of home.
I don't know why my computer.
Like you're Wilson on Castaway.
It kind of is like
Pretty
that,
much.
yeah. So let's go ahead and zoom out.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah, so let me just
About me.
fit
That's a
this-
wild X-ray view.
Yo, just to be clear, all the plans I had now seem useless.
Well, you are going to be carried, your tiny little self, all the way down to about here.
And the boat.
Yeah, I can't move that though. Not right now. I'll fix that.
I was just explaining that to Lord
Yeah.
Azrael. The boat's coming with him, so his home's moving.
Oh, my home.
Roll me a D100 just to make it even more spicy, though.
A D100.
Yes,
Yo, give me
sir.
a crit one. Give me a crit one.
Don't
Give me a
roll.
crit one, bro.
Don't just type in roll 100. Okay, a 24. Yeah, that ain't.
I definitely thought he was going to.
I
roll
know.
100.
No, I literally thought he was gonna just put like /R 100 and like fool me again. 24. We'll see what that means next time. But crew, how you doing? How you feeling after all that? That was how's the session for y'all? Chat, how you feeling?
Ragnar's underwater adventures are always entertaining.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so glad he's still with us.
Oh my god, Kev's raging, I think. That's crazy. But if there's anything you guys want to say before we close it out and I go to the most recent cover story, feel free. Let the chat know how you're doing. Nice. Oh, you didn't roll that. You just typed it in. But yeah, tell the folks how you're doing. Tell the folks if you've got. I know Mikey, you have some really really good shit to announce. You want to tell the folks what's going on in like a day and a half?
Yes, sir. So I know a lot of the folks in the chat right now probably like One Piece or probably into D&D as well. They've been hanging out a while now. Well, this Thursday, May 2nd, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please join me and my party as we kick off the first session of our campaign, which is going to be streamed over on the homie Straw Hat Lucas's YouTube channel. Links will be plugged. This is going to be the official kickoff to Group 14, aka Mikey's Men, as we've been calling ourselves.
Mikey's
Super excited
Men.
to get this. Super excited to get us off the ground and going. Excited to see where this new band of seafarers are going to take us 100 years before the beginning of Luffy's adventure world of One Piece. We're going to be starting off in the South Blue, and our band of travelers are going to be piloted by Lucas, SSJ8 Cody, Joshua Victor, Angel, our fellow Scarlet Pirate here, Ragnar, as well as Azor, aka Draj, as some folks might know him from the TLA community. So please, I'm not going to give anything else away. You're going to have to come and join us on Thursday for the first leg of their adventure and see how this crew comes together in a bit of a different age of pirating. Hope to see all of you there. And as always, thank you, Bex, for another fire session. I feel like we were in lore piece tonight. And I'm glad we got to get into Sea King piece with Ragnar as usual as well. So thank you guys for joining us, chat.
It's absolutely been a wild session. Cannot wait to see how Mikey's Men do this Thursday. I put Straw Hat Lucas' link in the channel. Make sure you go subscribe to the homie, turn on notifications, and tap in so you can make sure you guys all see that as well. So many goats in our lovely little community here are going to be showing up, showing out, and I am hyped for that. I think I think that this session was something that I've been kind of like waiting for and building up for a really long time, and I'm super glad we got to it and that we all ate good tonight. I think really good session. I thank you all for being here. Stay tuned for more D&D updates, and I'll keep trying to load the description full of tons of goodies for you guys every single time. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, check out the new fresh link to SSJ8 Cody, who's vibing in the chat right now and is an absolute goat himself. His YouTube channel is plugged there, and he will be actually uploading the VODs that we have available to his YouTube channel in case you don't catch us live on Twitch for group Cody 8. Cody 8 what? Cody 8 this D&D campaign. Exactly. And then we've got Pete living the dream as always, and brother Dill, just absolutely vibing and holding it down for TLA. Lord Ragnar, Lord Vegeta. You have a lot of names, brother, but super glad that you can join us tonight. And we have the Queen. We got Scarlet's pilot Balincc, who is just absolutely goated as well. Such good like roleplay moments, and I'll be messaging you about that sword before next session. So keep an eye on your DMs for that.
Cool.
But yeah, we have a cover story here to close us out on yet another wonderful W session here with the group two solos, Scarlet Pirates all day. Interior. A regal and elegant chamber, as well maintained as it was decorated. Lined with ornate tapestries and decor on each of the walls, the room was intricately divided up by labyrinthine shelves and study desks. Down the hall, a printing press could be seen in a workshop next to stacks of stripped wood and a large mold and decal. A shorter man dressed in dapper fashion with a top hat and monocle rushed down the hallway with haste. Stop the presses! You know we're not a real newspaper, right? So cut that shit out. A taller, unamused fellow halted the machinery as they put their impatient hands on their hips and let out a lethargic sigh. Yes, well, I've just always really wanted to say that. Out with it. Why'd you stop me mid-print? Well, you see, we've received orders to change the headlines. Apparently Morgan's has an even bigger scoop than we thought this time. Is that so? Well, what do I do about all these copies? Well, I guess if the ink is still fresh, we might be able to wash them clean. I don't know why you're saying we, or why you took this stupid request in the first place. The commander is paying very generously, not only for our flexibility of services and our discretion, but also for our swiftness, so please hurry if you can. The shorter, dapper man tipped his hat and slapped a newspaper article down on the workstation that the taller fellow was using. As the shorter gentleman hurried back down the hall towards the library, a young woman overheard a bit of conversation while reshelving a collection of tomes. She tucked herself behind one of the bookshelves and hid as the gentleman rushed past.